be talking about some ways that you can become a better public speaker. So I know that public speaking is not everybody's favorite thing. In fact, most people don't enjoy it at all. And I can relate. When I first started teaching 6 years ago, I had just graduated. I was hired to teach at San Jose State. I walked into a public speaking classroom for college students, the first time I'd ever taught, and I wasn't super confident in myself if I was a great public speaker. It went fine, but I was a little bit shaky. I was nervous. I don't know how great it actually was, but it went fine. Since then, I've learned a whole lot of things, and I want to share some of those with you today. Even if you think that you can never become a great public speaker, you can. Public speaking is a skill. It's something that we can work on, cultivate, and grow. A lot of times people think that public speaking is something you're born with or not. That's not true. It's a skill just like any other, and you get better the more you utilize that skill. So today we're going to look at a few ways that you can start to utilize some of those skills and grow yourself as a public speaker. So we're going to go through a few different tips that are helpful as you prepare to give a presentation. First off, I want us to think about confidence. Confidence is one of the most important things in terms of public speaking, and it's often overlooked. When we look at public speakers, we usually focus on the skills. Are they using gestures? Do they have good volume? Do they have clearly planned out what they're going to say? Not like me in that moment, right? Do they have a good sense of where they're going? And is the speech on point? Are they sharing good information? But all of that comes after confidence. Confidence comes first. So a few things I want you to do as you are trying to become a better public speaker is start out with number one, embrace yourself. And I know that's hard. And that comes first because it comes before any other ability to pull in those skills that we're going to talk about in a moment. You need to become comfortable with who you are. You need to understand your strengths, and you need to be comfortable with your speaking style and embrace your voice. You don't want to try to be someone different. You don't want to try to put on an act. We're going to know if it's not genuine, and we're also going to know if you don't have confidence in what you're saying. If you don't have confidence in what you're saying, how is the audience going to be confident in what you're sharing? Those presentations where speakers lack confidence, usually a lot of other things follow. Some of the skills drop off that we'll be getting to in a moment. So it's important to think about how can you as a speaker grow your confidence in that situation? How can you be comfortable with what you're sharing? And a lot of that comes with what we're going to address next, which is preparation and practice. Practice makes almost perfect, right? No one is a perfect public speaker. There isn't a point with public speaking where it's like, oh, I made it, I'm done, I never need to practice again. People who are great public speakers practice all the time. Steve Jobs practiced his speeches for months in advance before he gave his outstanding Apple presentations, right? It wasn't like he just walked up there and presented. In fact, he experienced a lot of stage fright in the same way that maybe some of your teachers or people who you think are excellent public speakers might experience stage fright too. Practice helps calm those nerves. It helps you become more comfortable in that space. And it also points out areas and things that you can work on. So practice speaking, practice presenting, create videos like this if you're not able to talk to people. If there's people around you during shelter in place, maybe practice giving them a short presentation or video chat some friends to get some practice in as well. After you give your presentation, you want to review it, watch it, and then see what worked and what didn't. A huge part of growing as a public speaker is being open to change and watching what you do that could be improved or that could be done differently that might be more effective. You have to be reflexive and able to take criticism and also able to implement those changes, which is hard. And it's especially hard if you don't have that base of confidence like I talked about in the first slide. Once you're in this practice phase, revise, repeat, and continue to evaluate and see how you can grow as a public speaker. This is one of the most important things. Excellent athletes, people who are outstanding in what they do, they practice a lot. I do long distance running. I'm training for a marathon. There's no way that I'm going to walk up to the virtual marathon start line without having practiced. If you practice and you try to hone those skills, then you'll improve. And it's hard, it's grueling, and it takes a lot of time and energy, but we're never going to grow if we don't put in that time and that energy. So there are some skills that you also want to think about. It isn't just confidence, right? If you walk up, you're super confident and you have this swagger, you're ready to go. Maybe it'll come off decent, but you also need to practice, know what you're going to say. And there's some specific skills that I want us to think about. Some of the tangible things are, first off, focus on saying what you intend. A huge part of public speaking gets wasted with time spent saying, like, so, and like, you know what I mean, right? All of those things are times that you're not actually saying what you had planned on saying. If you have a 5-minute speech, you want that 5-minute speech to be all of what you had intended on saying. You don't want to have unnecessary gaps. You don't want to be choosing your words in the moment in a way that's awkward or not beneficial, right? You want to know what you're going to say. You want to have it organized, and you want to be ready to deliver. So part of that is writing it out. Write out what you plan on saying. Organize your ideas in advance, because then it'll be easier. You'll have a good sense of what you're going to share, and then it'll flow. If you go up there and you have no clue what you're going to say, it's going to be awkward, right? And just because it's a video and maybe the audience isn't there watching you, you still want to respect the audience by having planned in advance and knowing what you're going to say. So write it out. As you're writing it, read through it, see does it make sense, and then go back and continue to revise. I do this continually as I present at conferences. I presented at a conference in October last year. I wrote out everything I was going to say, and then I read through it and I realized, wait, I'm missing parts. This doesn't sync up. It doesn't work. And so I kept revising it, reading, revising, reading. And then finally I had it to a point where I just practiced the content and I continued to practice. When it came time to the presentation, I didn't say everything I had written down. I had to adjust to fit a new condensed timeline, which sometimes happens in public speaking events. So I had to revise what I was going to say. And even though I hadn't said everything I had written out, that process of writing it out, practicing multiple times, I knew the content well enough that I didn't need those notes anymore. They were there in case I felt like I needed them, but I didn't touch them once because I had already practiced and I felt prepared and I felt confident in my message. Additionally, be excited. If you aren't excited, there's no way that other people in the audience are going to be excited. If you're there and you're like, so today I'm going to talk to you about public speaking. Public speaking is cool, I guess. I don't know. Like, if you have that attitude, no one is going to be interested. You have to set the tone for the audience. You have to be excited and passionate about what you're sharing about. This is a topic that you self-selected, something that matters to you, and you need to make it matter to us. And that happens when you show your excitement, your passion, your genuine, your honesty in that message. That's when people connect to it. Additionally, getting help from others. I do this myself as I'm going to practice important big presentations. In fact, I practiced just yesterday. I had a Zoom call with family and friends to practice a presentation that I have to give later this week. So I Zoomed them all in, I went through my material, and then I got their feedback. They pointed out a lot of great things that I wouldn't have realized myself, even watching the video afterwards, things that wouldn't have stood out to me. So if you can get the help from others, show your presentation either through a video chat or record it and send it to people and see what they have to say. There's a lot of people who have time on their hands at this point, shelter in place. Not necessarily all of your classmates, but maybe there's family or friends that you have that are excited to help out and to support your educational journey. So consider ways that you can have other people help and point out different things that you can think about. And then learn from the pros. A great way to become a better public speaker is to watch people who do it well. So go watch some videos of people who you think are really great, or maybe even people who aren't so great, and think about what is it that they're doing that you like and that you think works well, and what is it that they're doing that maybe you would want to change or do different. That's going to help you out a lot as you pursue your public speaking goals, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and watching other people do that. Usually, when you start out public speaking, you tend to emulate a few other people. It takes some time to really find your own voice and to be comfortable with who you are as a presenter. So figure out who is it that you feel connected to, who's a presenter, and try to replicate what they're doing until your natural voice can come in. So you can do this. I know public speaking seems intimidating. For some of us, it may seem more or less intimidating giving a video presentation. And if so, these skills still apply and these steps to practice still apply. So you can do this. Keep practicing. It's going to pay off. If you have that confidence, you've practiced, you're well rehearsed, you can be calm, ready to wow peers with your presentation. You may be wondering why I chose a cactus as the imagery in this presentation. Well, I know cactuses seem prickly, awkward, right? Doesn't seem like they could ever be maybe beautiful or do anything that would wow us. Well, even cactuses have beautiful flowers that grow. Even if you think that you aren't a great public speaker, you can become a good public speaker. So know that. Understand what you need to do to become better, and then ask questions if you need help. I'm here. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to review your videos in advance too and give you pointers and things that you can do different. So thanks for watching. I look forward to your speeches in this course, and I can't wait to watch you become a better public speaker. All right. Thank you. Bye.